Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of 7-on-7 for quarterbacks and wide receivers. So we're going to start off by talking about the negative aspects of 7-on-7 first, and then we're going to progress into why 7-on-7 can be a beneficial tool if you use it correctly. So we're going to focus on the wide receiver position first, then we'll progress into quarterback. So for wide receivers, 7-on-7 is not something that you have to play. I think a lot of wide receivers in the offseason will see that, oh, there's this 7-on-7 team, there's this club team, especially in the winter. I'm mainly focusing on the winter and the spring, because in the summer you should play 7-on-7, especially if you're in high school with your team. But if you got a winter club team, spring club team, it's not always the best idea to play because there's two types of training for athletes, right? You have random training and then you have block training. This is something that you will learn if you take a kinesiology class when you get to college, is that to work on like specific skills. So let's say your catching ability, for example, you need to block train that. That means that you need a bunch of reps in a row with perfect catching form to break the bad habit. They say it takes 1,000 reps to break a bad habit and 10,000 reps to master a habit. So think about how many reps that is. So 7-on-7 is a very random environment. That's like a live game situation. So you're not going to be able to think about catching mechanics, route running mechanics, your running form. So if those are things that you need to improve on as a wide receiver, I would not play 7-on-7 because those areas of your game need to be block trained. Now, from the months like January all the way till June, you should be block training. Then from June to August, you can play 7-on-7 with the team. That's totally fine because you have to put those skills into action, and live game reps are important. But if you need to improve your speed, your hands, your route running, and specifically your technique, you need to block train it. That's the one downside for 7-on-7 for wide receivers. Now let's talk about the quarterback position. What are the downsides of the quarterback position while playing 7-on-7? So first things first, let's talk about the footwork, right? I think there are a lot of 7-on-7 coaches out there, especially club 7-on-7 coaches, and I'm not knocking them, but they just don't have experience with the quarterback position, right? They may have some knowledge of play concepts, plays, but when their quarterbacks drop back in the pocket, they're working like maybe like a concept, like let's say it's a deep post from the outside, dig from the slot, drag from the backside receiver, or even a mesh concept, right? That's not a one-step drop forward. That's usually you're getting back. If you're under center, you're taking a 5-step drop. You're in shotgun, you're taking a 3-step drop. There are a lot of times where quarterbacks will take the ball from the tee, take a 1-step drop, and just sit there. That is the most unrealistic thing that you could do as a quarterback, and you're completely wasting your time because you're not even working on putting yourself in a game-realistic situation. 7-on-7 is supposed to put you in game-realistic situations so we get better when the pads come on, which is what actually matters. Nobody cares how many pylon 7-on-7 championships you win. They care about you winning the big one when the pads are on and when the lights are on. So that's number one. Number two for 7-on-7, I hate it for younger quarterbacks because there's no emphasis on mechanics. Guys, you got to understand, you got your entire career to play 7-on-7. High school, age 14, 15, 16, 17, you have your whole career. And then when you get to college, nobody cares. Like literally nobody gives a damn about what you did in 7-on-7. But if you're 11, 12 years old, you don't have to play 7-on-7 because chances are, what do most 11-year-old quarterbacks, 12-year-old, even 13-year-old quarterbacks struggle with? Throwing mechanics, velocity, accuracy. So in these winter months, if you have a problem of leaning your head, overstriding, not using your hips, and all you're doing is playing 7-on-7, you are stack loading bad reps on top of each other. But you might be thinking, well, coach, I got to play 7-on-7. I'll just train during the week on my mechanics. So let's think about this, right? Let's say it's 7-on-7 practice. You got 7 receivers, and let's say you're running, every receiver runs every route on the route tree, which is 9. So there's 9 routes on the route tree. That's 63 reps if every single receiver just run one route. Now we switch sides. So 63 plus 63, you do the math, right? That's a lot of reps. That's over 120 reps, right? So let's say Monday through Friday, you do 120 reps, and let's say they're perfect. But then you go out to practice on Saturday and a game on Sunday for 7-on-7, and you have 300 bad reps where you're not focused on your mechanics. You really didn't get any better. You have 200 bad reps on top of the 100 good reps. So it's not actually something that's going to help your mechanics improve. You have to block rep your mechanics. If you sit there, you will get more benefit mechanically out of just playing catch with somebody with a camera set up, focusing on your mechanics, if that's what you need to improve on, than playing 7-on-7. Play 7-on-7 in the summer when you have your mechanics already dialed in and ready to go. Guys, mechanics are one of the hardest things to change as a quarterback. Your stride length, your hip rotation, and it needs to be repped. If you're not stack loading hundreds and hundreds of correct reps, you are not actually going to get better, okay? Now guys, if you're a quarterback or receiver and would like to go to an off-season training camp that's going to focus on your mechanics, your route running, your speed, your catching ability, check out that very first link in the description below. I myself am coming out to 12 different states this off-season for 2-day long QB and wide receiver training camps. Half of our camps are already sold out, but our next opportunity is going to be in Buffalo, New York. Then we'll be heading out to Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. All of those camps will sell out, guys, but if you're local to one of those cities, would like to work with myself and my staff, again, check out that very first link in the description below. Now, I know I just went on a whole tirade about talking about why 7-on-7 is bad, but there are a lot of positives that you can get from 7-on-7. We're going to start with receivers and then we'll progress to quarterbacks. Now, if you are a receiver, and let's say you're maybe on the older side of things, let's say you feel like you got your catching down, let's say you feel like you are fast enough, but the one thing that you lack is game experience and game reps, 7-on-7 is great for you. It's one of the best tools that you can use to get used to running routes versus different coverages, getting used to press coverage if you don't see press coverage a lot during the actual season, understanding zone coverage, understanding passing concepts. It's one of the best things that you could do. That's part of the reason why I recommend it in the summer, because as a receiver, you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit of 7-on-7 if you're not playing with your quarterback, right? Because again, you're building chemistry with the guy that you're ultimately never going to play with again. Maybe in some random college situation, maybe, but chances are you're never going to play with that guy again playing club 7-on-7. So why not get with your quarterback and actually play with him to develop chemistry in the summer? If you guys could play together in the winter, that's great, but you have to be honest with yourself in the offseason about what you need to get better on. If you feel your speed is where it needs to be, your catching ability, your route running skills, and you need game reps, then yes, play 7-on-7. Those are definitely the benefits for the wide receiver position. Now, what are the benefits for quarterbacks? So if you're a quarterback and you treat 7-on-7 realistically, there are a ton of benefits as far as reading defenses go, going through progressions, making faster reads, and processing information faster as a quarterback. So if you feel your mechanics are already in a pretty good spot and you just need, again, live game reps, 7-on-7 is a great tool for you to do. But same thing that I mentioned for wide receivers, quarterbacks, you need to play 7-on-7 with your receivers. Why are you developing chemistry with receivers that you're never going to play with? Because I'm going to tell you this right now, a college coach could care less about what you do in 7-on-7. You could be winning every single tournament across the country, but if that's all you have to show for your game and you don't have actual live game film, and again, as a quarterback, we're only as good as our wide receivers, right? If they're dropping the ball, they're running bad routes, you're not going to have good film, you're not going to have good stats, and nobody cares what you did in 7-on-7. So when I say that, play with your receivers. Try to put together a team. Who cares if you lose to these big, like, national travel teams? You're getting better and you're developing chemistry with guys that you're actually going to play with. So that's the best benefit, I would say. Processing information quicker, making faster reads, and then ultimately being able to read defenses and building chemistry with your guys. So if quarterback, if you need to improve on that, and again, you got to be honest with yourself, that's what I recommend that you do. Now, if you're that quarterback that needs to get better at his throwing mechanics, that needs to improve specific elements of his game that 7-on-7 won't work on, I can develop a custom workout plan for you specifically. So if you check out that second link in the description below, what it'll take you to is an informational page about how you can get a custom quarterback workout plan from myself. How it essentially goes is you're going to be able to submit film, whether it's game film, 7-on-7 clips, or just film of you throwing to a partner where I could take a look at your mechanics. I'll give you video feedback. I'll talk about areas that you need to improve on, and then I'm going to give you a custom 8-week quarterback on-field workout plan with drills, video examples of the drills, sets and reps. Monday you're doing this, Tuesday you're doing that, and I'll include a gym workout schedule that you could do during the off season. So if you guys would like a custom workout plan and you're a quarterback, check out that second link in the description below.